In America's struggle with illegal immigration, the new battleground is Alabama. The southern state has crafted what's been called the harshest anti-immigration law in the country. In the run-up to the presidential election, tough economic times are stoking anti-immigrant fervour, and high unemployment is putting pressure on politicians to create jobs any way they can, even if it means demonising the migrant workforce that American farmers depend on. North American correspondent Jane Cowan reports from the heart of Dixie.
It could be any community, anywhere. The start of a new school day. But here in Alabama, even this familiar ritual's been imbued with anxiety.
When the law passed, as in the governor signed it, a person on the street left the same day with a red truck full of everything that he owned, just up and left. You had students in South Alabama who would go to school crying because they wouldn't know if their parents would be there when they got back.
Victor Palafox came here as a 6-year-old child, crossing through the Rio Grande River from Mexico. His family's part of an estimated 120,000 undocumented immigrants now living in Alabama.
7 años atrás.
The last time I saw my sister was 7 years ago.
And your sister's children? No los conozco.
I only know my sister's children through videos and photographs, that's all.
Now Alabama's crackdown is threatening the life they've sacrificed so much for. The courts have intervened to block the toughest aspects of the law, including one provision that allowed schools to check students' immigration status. And the courts have blocked another provision that forbade undocumented immigrants having any transactions with the state, a ban that allegedly saw some people denied essential services like water. But police are still required to verify immigration status during routine traffic stops if they suspect someone might be in the country illegally.
Before this law, there was a sense of tranquility, of peace. Now, you go out in the street with a sense of fear.
If you're here illegally and if you're breaking the law, there's a little bit of fear involved.
But it's sensitive stuff in Alabama. The state was haven to a violent chapter of the Ku Klux Klan, and Martin Luther King called Birmingham the most segregated city in the South.
You can never whip these boys if you don't keep you and them separate. I found that out in Birmingham. You've got to keep the white and the black separate.
Although things have changed, on the streets of Birmingham today, there are still people willing to talk like this.
I think they ought to send them all back where they belong. They're taking our jobs, and I don't know, it's just, I don't feel nothing for them. I mean, even the blacks, they came from Africa. They would send them back. The Mexicans send them back to Mexico.
You hear people all the time saying the name Jesus, 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 but they're not living like Jesus. Entonces, si a usted no le molesta.
Advocates say undocumented immigrants are treated like modern-day lepers, abandoned by church-going Americans living in the heart of the Bible Belt.
These people are not the one that created the problem. And again, we say people are here because somebody's offering their jobs. They are also here because they have to live where they were because they didn't have food. And even animals go from places and migrate to go where's food.
It's about survival.
It's about survival.
And not only for the Hispanic community.
What proportion of your workforce would you say is undocumented?
I could be at 90%. Just about every farm, everywhere, in every state is in the same situation.
With new requirements forcing farmers to check the immigration status of their employees, workers have vanished overnight. Farmers like Chad Smith are cutting back, some sitting the year out entirely for fear there won't be the manpower to harvest a proper crop this year.
Most Americans won't fill the jobs that these people have because they're not willing or able to do it. But a lot of people can make as much sitting at home, getting an unemployment check, $250, $300. They can come out here and work.
Farmers gathering for lunch at the local diner are worried.
Putting us out of business.
plain and simple.
With the Hispanic workforce embedded in the economy, there are predictions the law could cost Alabama as much as $10 billion in lost economic growth if people flee.
Repeal HB 156!
Businesses have joined forces with civil rights groups and the Latino community to demand the law be thrown out.
I was able to convince my workers, which is only 3, to stay, and I'd take care of them. I actually even said, you can live in my house and we won't tell anybody.
I have a problem with this because my husband is an illegal immigrant here. We have 3 children together, and I'm terrified of him being deported.
I'm here to try to convince the senators, the representatives in this building that H56 is wrong.
The fact is, what we're doing right now by allowing this flood of illegal immigrants to come in our country, that's inhumane. And it's inhumane to our existing poor that are here. It puts our poor at an unfair competitive disadvantage to compete for these jobs.
The states say they're stepping in the absence of overarching immigration reform at the national level, enacting their own crackdowns and fighting it out locally. But in an election year, the debate's rebounding onto the national stage as Republicans vie with Barack Obama for the important Latino vote.
If you've been here 25 years and you got 3 kids and 2 grandkids, you've been paying taxes and obeying the law, you belong to a local church, I don't think we're going to separate you from your family, uproot you forcefully and kick you out.
But the likely Republican nominee is taking a hard line.
Amnesty is a magnet. When we have had in the past programs that have said that if people who've come here illegally are going to get to stay illegally for the rest of their life, that's going to only encourage more people to come here illegally.
The Republican Party has hated immigrants before. Hating immigrants was a cool thing to do.
The Obama administration is suing states pursuing tough immigration laws, but the president failed to pass the so-called DREAM Act that would have provided a path to citizenship for young Hispanics, and deportations have shot up under Barack Obama.
You are, in a sense, in a masochistic relationship with the country you consider your own. You love a country that is not only actively but subtly telling you, we do not love you, we do not want you. You're really keen to be wary of what to expect in the next 4 years on whoever gets elected.
In a nation of immigrants living in limbo. Jane Cowan, Lateline.